Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is HD Starcraft and I'm coming at you guys with another Heart of the Swarm broadcast, and this is going to be another Terran versus Zerg, and I'm proud to represent some new players on the scene today. We actually have FXO Neeb as the red Terran player here in the bottom right hand corner of Akalon Waste. Neeb is a New York Terran player who's only 15 years old, has actually played RuneScape and League of Legends quite a bit before moving on to competitive Starcraft 2, and he is going to be here. I've never actually casted a game of Neeb before, but I have heard of him, and obviously only 15 years old and an amazing Terran player. So this is going to be pretty awesome watching a new player on my YouTube channel. And for those of you guys who don't remember JazBas, he is from Team Envy. He is in New Zealand, but he is actually, you know, has Korean blood in him. He is a Korean that lives in New Zealand. I believe he was born in New Zealand though, but I might be wrong about that. And he is going to be the blue Terran player at the top, blue Zerg player at the top left-hand corner. So sorry. And actually had the opportunity of meeting JazBas when I went out to Australia. Very cool guy. And I had this replay sent in to me to my email box at hdreplays@gmail.com. If you guys have any sick replays you want me to cast, feel free to send it in and I'll always take a look. And I'm told that this game is pretty good, so get yourselves ready for another Terran versus Zerg. We were watching about 8 or 9 games of Jaedong straight and 8 or 9 games of Jaedong losing straight in a row. So I'm not gonna lie here, I am gonna be a little bit rooting for JazBas because you know, Terrans have been whomping on Zergs on my channel so far, and doofully, you know, they've been doing it all over the scene too, because of the strength of the new Terran Widowmine, and just its ability to incorporate very easily with Terran against Zerg. You know, Widowmine Marine is so powerful and hard to stop nowadays. So, whoa! JazBas here is gonna go for a proxy hatchery. Now, he has expanded at the natural. What the hell is going on? He is gonna go for a proxy hatchery, guys, outside of Neeb's base, and this is not something you see every day. This is very curious. Now, Neeb did go for a command center first, so he's not going to have Marines coming out yet. You know, it's a little bit delayed because obviously the barracks comes after the command center. Now, the Marines are going to start coming out, but I don't know if he's going to be able to kill off this hatchery, and I'm not sure what the plan here for JazBas is. Is he just doing it to delay the command center from coming down and planting at the natural? Does he have a plan to throw a spine crawler there? I have no idea. This is very curious. He's gonna go for spine crawlers. He's bringing drones right now, and OMG, guys, on YouTube, this is really unorthodox, and I don't know if this is gonna really work. I mean, you can see that Neeb's already building double bunkers, and the bunkers are a very effective counter to spine crawlers, but we'll see if these crawlers can get right here, literally on the creep, and plant down, and it looks like the timing is going to be really close too. Look at this from JazBas, and Neeb knows that there are drones outside of his base because he saw it with the scouting SCV inside the Zerg base, and he's going to keep his Marines in position to deny these drones from becoming spine crawlers. The Marines are going to try to attack these drones, and it looks like the only one drone becomes a crawler. So it is gonna, it's gonna be killed off before it can even become anything. And now that the bunkers are up, I don't think this is gonna work at all. JazBas with a unorthodox strategy, to say the least, but it is countered very effectively by Neeb, who gets bunkers on the low ground. He has his barracks on the high ground. He's got tons of Marines just pounding away at these hatcheries, and now realizing, hey, I don't even need these bunkers anymore, so I'm just gonna go ahead and salvage it. And JazBas, not good. He tried to even get a creep tumor down to at least force a comsat from the Terran player, but that's not even going to work because Neeb is just going to focus the creep tumor down, obviously, before it can get underground. Doesn't have to waste energy on a comsat anymore. And the only thing this actually ends up doing is it does delay the command center. The Broodling's actually killing off a couple Marines as well, but it does delay the command center from landing and becoming a natural for a little bit of time. Very interesting opening here for JazBas, and you know, not something you see every day. You can see that Neeb now is just gonna go for another command center. Says, okay, I guess the Trojan horse, the one-trick pony, you've given it up now, and now all I have to do is sit back because you've done a lot of damage to yourself by going for this hatchery. And we'll see. Has JazBas done a lot of damage to his own economy? Well, let's take a look. It looks like he's droning up right now, trying to catch up. He has 35 drones over 29 SCVs, so his drone count is doing all right. And he's actually capturing the third expansion as we speak. And like I said before, this does deny the command center from landing down, at least for some period of time. So, you know, is Neeb actually ahead in this game? Is the Terran player ahead? I would say so, yes, but not by as much as you think. And the opening from JazBas, if you consider the risk versus reward, sometimes you're going to get those crawlers down and you can just end the game or do a ton of damage, and sometimes you're going to lose a hatchery, but at least you deny the Terran player the natural expansion, and that's exactly what he's done. The first you know, couple of returns of minerals here are finally coming in for this resource node for Neeb, and you know, he can't be too happy that he's been only mining on one base for, you know, 8 minutes and a half now. Most Terran players get that second base operational by the 5-minute mark. So, you know, there is some return for the investment from JazBas, and JazBas is now going to go for an all-in. He's going for a Baneling all-in. I think JazBas realizing, yeah, I've done damage, but I feel behind, and so I'm just going to go for it. And he's got a ton of Zerglings building up now. Oh, man. And he's got, you know, Baneling Nest on the way. I mean, I've got to imagine this is for an all-in. And he's going to test the front door now with one of his Zerglings. And thankfully for him, the command center has moved away. This is just a supply depot bunker wall. So it is quite vulnerable to a Baneling bust. If JazBas is going to go for it, and I think he is, Neeb is going to be in a lot of trouble here. He's going to have to bring his forces to the front door to protect. He's going to try to destroy this rock tower right now in order to make sure that his third expansion is safe, but what he doesn't realize is that there are a lot of Banelings morphing outside of his natural expansion. The rock tower has gone down, so these Marines and Marauders are cut off from the main base, and they're just going to run right into these Zerglings. Oh my god. Hello, Merry Christmas for JazBas, and boom! Wow, that could not have gone any better. That was like a scripted play, and JazBas writing it down and making it work, and now he's gonna go through the front door. And Neeb is in so much trouble now. This all-in is gonna do so much damage. Supply depot wall has been busted through. Zerglings and Banelings are now in the main base, and JazBas is gonna try to get some kills here. He's gonna try to go for the SCVs, obviously. And all those Banelings detonating, but not quite hitting the SCVs. And if we look at the workers kill tab, actually not too many workers have gone down, or only about 8 or so. So the damage has been mitigated to some extent, but there are more Zerglings and Banelings coming. And Neeb right now needs to get a bunker up at the front at the natural expansion in order to protect his base. He's lost 9 SCVs so far, so not a crippling amount. But he really needs to get a bunker up, and he needs to make sure that his wall is not breached yet again. In fact, he doesn't even have a wall going on right now, so he needs to get something going, maybe get some Widow Mines on the floor, and it looks like he is going to start to produce Widow Mines right now out of his factory. If he can get Widow Mines underground, that would help him so much, but there are a lot more Zerglings and Banelings coming through right here and now, and it looks like these Banelings are going to get into the main base. You can see that Neeb is trying to focus the Banelings down. He is going to get a couple, but unfortunately he's going to be forced to evacuate his Marines into the medevacs, which means his SCVs have nowhere to escape. And they are going to go down. More SCVs hitting the ground, and 23 have gone down already. You can see now that Neeb is forced to basically unload his Marines one by one, hoping to pick off the Banelings, and now he finally gets some Widow Mines underground. That is going to really help to fortify his defense, trying to re-meal his natural expansion and get some income going here, as these Banelings are going to look to hit the SCVs and meals it. Oh! It is going to hit right home. 32 workers have gone down already. And the Terran player now is suffering a lot. I mean, he is down quite a bit of SCVs and drones. He's only got 11 workers right now working for him. Excuse me, and these Banelings, they continue to come into the main base. And now Baneling speed has just been researched as well. Or, I thought Baneling speed was just researched. No, it has not. So, JazBas did not get Baneling speed. It would actually help him quite a bit if he wants to end this game. Go for Baneling speed and just go for the jugular, but you know, he has done a lot of damage already. He's killed off so many SCVs. The Terran player only has 9 workers at this moment in the game. He has nothing mining at the natural, nothing mining at the pocket expansion. Everything, any income that he's making right now, he's just scrapping together a measly, living right now by mining off the main base, and that is it. And he knows right now he's got to try to attack and sway the momentum of this game. Unfortunately, he just unloaded his Marines into a pack of Zerglings, and it's going to be forced to uplift them once again. It looks like in the meantime, oh, Oh man, 5 or 6 Marines or so, even more maybe, going down to a Baneling or 2. I will say one thing that is looking okay though is the units lost tab is showing that both players have lost about the same, and Neeb isn't actually that far down in supply. So while he's taken a huge hit to his economy, if he can get some type of payback here, if he can get some drone kills, he might just get back into this game. And it looks like he's gonna go right for the drones, gonna pick off a couple, and now gonna go for the queen, it looks like. Gotta be careful though, that because there are Banelings there. And at the very least, by doing this attack from Neeb, you know, he does put a little bit of a stop to the momentum that has been building for JazBas. He's just trying to, you know, get a little bit of fresh air here and do a little bit of damage to JazBas. Hope that this is his best defense, is a good offense. And it looks like it's going to give him some time to breathe, give him some time to refortify his main base and his natural expansion. And you can see here he's continuing to drop. He's actually brought a second medevac into the natural expansion, trying to pick off more drones. There is a medevac in the main base as well, but there are no Marines to unload. Meanwhile, this medevac somehow gets out with only 6 HP, gonna drop more Marines down, and drone kills are starting to rack up here for Neeb. The New York Terran is taking it to the New Zealand Zerg, and he's killed off about 20 or so drones already, evening up this game with some really effective counter harass. Great job by Neeb, and he might be able to, no, he won't be able to get this hatchery, but it's still a valiant effort, obviously, because you know, if he can get a hatchery kill too, that really puts the nail not necessarily into the coffin, but it does drive the nail one hit deeper for JazBas, because up to this point JazBas had been really rolling the ball, and now all of a sudden things are changing a little bit. Oh, great dodge right there from the Zerglings, and look, he's sending in a couple of Zerglings at a time to proc the Widow Mines and even take out some Marines due to friendly fire. Really nice job here. Even once again, great spread. And these Zerglings and Banelings now gonna go into the natural. What an action-packed Zerg versus Terran this has been. More SCVs going down, and another medevac gonna go into the main base of JazBas at the same time. Both players are just trying to out-harass each other and hopefully, you know, steal this game. But of course, you can see that JazBas still has a, just an absolute dominating number of drones, 51 to 30, and that is just going to allow him to continue rolling on, even though he takes drone hits, even though he has lost, he's lost quite a few drones, 20 drones. He still has almost, double the SCVs that Neeb's got. The one thing that Neeb does have going for him is, of course, he's a Terran, and he's got 3 orbital commands here. He can drop mules very quickly and get some refreshing income. And at the same time, it looks like we do have another engagement going on here. And do note on the production tab, there are Mutalisks on the way. So JazBas really intelligent here, not going to stick with his, Zergling Baneling technology for too long. He has evolved into Mutalisks, and that's very, very smart, because these medevacs are just going to continue to be a thorn in his side until we can get some form of anti-air on the field. And it looks like he's got Mutas now, and he's going to be able to take out that medevac. Very nice job. Saves the Mutalisk as well. These Marines have been dropped off into no man's land, and they're going to be taken out by Zerglings, and the Banelings rolling in as looking for more kills. But everything has been destroyed. Very nice job by JazBas, and by Neeb, I must say. And wow, this has been just a crazy Terran versus Zerg. 99 supply, 101 supply to 119 right now. So this game, I mean, literally, with all the damage that has been done already, this is about as close as it gets to an even matchup, despite JazBas opening up with a proxy hatch that didn't really work. And then going for an all-in that did a ton of damage. Neeb has been able to return the favor, and now this game is really, really close between these two players. It would be hard for me to decide who's actually winning right now. You can see that both players are starting to make the transition into the late game, because they realize now, hey, the shenanigans of the early game are over. Now we can actually start to make a transition and play a standard Terran versus Zerg. You can see here that JazBas has a flock of Mutalisks he can fly in and do some damage with, but unfortunately there's a missile turret and Marines there. And now it looks like Neeb is going to drop into the expansion of JazBas, but he loses some of his Marines, is able to save the rest into his medevac, and is going to ferry them over to the natural expansion. But of course, like I said before, there are Mutalisks in the skies, so really, once Mutalisks come out in force like this, it becomes much more difficult for a Terran to be able to drop effectively. And usually when this becomes the case is when most Terrans turtle up a little bit more and then roll out with a big army instead of trying to go for the harass play, because Mutalisks are just so good at controlling the board, you know, controlling the game of StarCraft 2. And that's the situation we have now. JazBas has control of the skies, which in turn means he has control of the ground, and every, you know, which way that an enemy force wants to move. So right now you can see that Neeb is trying to sneak a medevac up to the north, but unfortunately he's got to be worried about these Mutalisks coming into this expansion once again. It looks like they're going to go for the refinery. Neeb gets the cancel off though, really nice cancel. And Neeb realizing, hey, while these Mutalisks are occupied in the south, I can boost my medevac into the main base and maybe get some more damage done, but there are Zerglings and Banelings waiting here for JazBas. Of course, very intelligent to keep Zerglings and Banelings back at home just in case a medevac is able to sneak on by. It looks like the medevac is going to go for the pocket expansion instead though, and this expansion is exposed. Maybe a few drones are going to go down here, but once again the Zerg has creep on his side, and JazBas is right on top of it, and he's just going to molest this force. He's going to crush it. And so down that medevac goes. Another medevac coming in here. Neeb is really being quite relentless with these medevac attacks. Unfortunately, he didn't see that hatchery, but he is going to go once again right into this base, actually trying to use the Banelings against their own Zerg army by hoping that they detonate on the drones. But yeah, I think that's probably going to be the end of the medevacs at this point. It's just becoming too cost ineffective from the Terran standpoint. It's just not worth the cost anymore. And now JazBas is going to, I guess, switch up the strategy a little bit. He is getting drilling claws, of course, going to rely heavily on Widow Mines, but he's also adding in a Thor, and he's got Hellbats as well. Now the Thor is a nice you know, touch because it'll help against the Mutas. These Marines though are going to get spread apart and picked off by Zerglings. It looks like a couple of Widow Mines detonating on those Mutas is just going to be enough to repel JazBas from pushing all of his forces in there, and JazBas just a huge army. Look at the flow of these Zerglings and Mutalisks, man. He's got 182 supply. Very, very large army indeed. But the one thing that will be interesting to watch is these Hellbats and the Thors. Now there is a second Thor coming. Now the Thor obviously gonna you know, stay in standard mode so that it can keep these Mutas spread apart so that they don't clump up together. Otherwise they'll just get all picked off. So it'll be a nice area of effect for the Thors to be on the field. And on top of that, these Hellbats are gonna be so effective against the large, heavy Zergling army from JazBas. So it'll be interesting to see how JazBas counters that. And in fact, he's going to go for Ultralisks, and that is a great idea. I mean, Hellbats are not good against Ultras. The, you know, Ultras just kind of, they run through fire, man. They don't even care. And it looks like this medevac is going to fly over here. He's going to see this hatchery, which is basically a stolen hatchery. JazBas stealing one of the expansions that Neeb rightfully should have. And these Marines are going to come over here and deny it. So very nice job right there from Neeb to pick that up. But of course, Mutalisks are on the way. It looks like we might have a collision here between the two armies. Widow Mines burrowing underground under the creep, and it looks like both armies now going to vie for control over this expansion. The medevac was picked off by these Mutas, but the Marines, the tanks, the Thors, and the Hellbats are pushing in, and I don't think that JazBas can do anything about this. He needs to wait until this army comes into the open and is exposed. Then he can send his entire Zerg army in. He's actually got his Mutalisks on the eastern side of the map, and is going to go for an attack into the natural expansion of the Terran players. So not a bad job right here, hoping to distract the reinforcements, and he's going to do just that. Going to pick off Marines, Hellbats, and whatnot that are coming to reinforce. But in the meantime, JazBas has lost the northern expansion, but it looks like he's going to go in with everything here. He's going to come crashing through, explosions galore, and the Ultras versus the Thors, but the Ultras are going to lose out. Too much reinforcements here for Neeb. He had too many Marines, too many tanks, and Widow Mines behind his army, but in the meantime, it looks like JazBas, you know, he didn't send his entire army in. He had a clump of Mutas attacking the natural expansion, denying reinforcements from coming, and assisting the you know, the front of the attack. And it looks like, I think JazBas will be able to clean up this army because he's cut off the reinforcements. He has not allowed this Terran front to continue to get, you know, replenishing supplies. And because of that, I think JazBas will save his pocket expansion, and his Mutas are continuing to do damage all the while. So a really nice play by JazBas. He might have lost the first battle, but I think he's going to win the war, and that is what's important in StarCraft 2. You got to win, you know, the overall game here, and he's going to do just that. Very nice play by JazBas, going to pick off more forces. In the meantime, it looks like the forces have loaded up into the medevacs for Neeb, and he's going to drop into the expansion once again, but there's a Congo line of ultras coming in. Hello! And those medevacs have got to get out of there. The interesting dynamic we have going on here is JazBas can't deal with the forces that are elevated in the medevacs because all of his mutas are on the offensive. At the same time, Neeb can't really drop his forces on the ground for too long because the ultras and of course all these zerglings are just everywhere. So he's really got to pick his spots here, and it looks like he's doing a pretty good job of that. I mean, I gotta say, he's spread his forces out, he's picking off drones wherever possible, he's evened up the workers killed, and these ultras, I mean, they're just too slow to deal with the continual dropping from these medevacs, so the mutas are being called back home to intercept these medevacs, but it's too late. The hatchery has gone down, and just great play by Neeb here. He might, no, I don't think he's going to get this hatchery, but a really good job by Neeb, staying on the offensive, all the while dealing with those mutas back at his natural expansion. And finally, this medevac is just going to run out of room to fly. Well, we've run into an invisible wall, sir. So that medevac is going to go down. And what a game this is. 29 minutes in, and I still don't know who's got the edge. Of course, look at how much money Neeb is making right now from the income, you know, blast of minerals and not so much gas, but he's making a lot of money right now. 3,000 minerals per minute. That's going to translate into 1 million Marines, and JazBas is going to have to deal with a lot of reinforcements pretty soon here, because Neeb is going to have a ton of Marines and Marauders coming out, I'd imagine, and you can see that production tab is starting to ramp up. So yeah, Neeb is right back in it, with, you know, mostly doing thanks to mules and remining this pocket expansion, and now he's going to focus his efforts on dropping up here to the north, where it looks like a new hatchery will be coming, but you know, JazBas has a ton of zerglings and ultras there, and these Marines are just a little bit too cocky here, a little too confident. They are going to run into the Zerg army and get dispatched. But in the meantime, it looks like Neeb is going to come from the south, going to try to intercept these ultras, but he gets fungled. He can't get out of the way, and now he's going to be forced to stay and fight. No, more of his forces getting fungal growth, and he cannot move. Just body parts flying everywhere from the ultras, just clawing and cleaving their way through everything, and JazBas just overruns the Terran army. Look at one of the Marauders' corpses was rolling underneath the foot of the ultras as the ultras just pushing it along. Widowmine's trying to repel this attack and keep it at bay, and more reinforcements holding the high ground, and these ultras are gonna finally get picked off. But JazBas, I mean, wow, just his ultras were dominating there for a couple of seconds there, weren't they? And finally, Neeb was able to hold it off because, you know, largely in part due to this expansion funding a ton of Marauders. And Neeb was just barely able to hold on, but it looks like JazBas isn't through with him yet. He's going to try to break through these rocks, thereby opening up the door into this expansion down to the south, where there really isn't much mining going on, I'll be honest, but anytime you can harass an enemy player, it's always nice. There are 7 more ultras on the way, guys. Both players have basically run out of money here. They are basically mining off of 1 base apiece, but this new expansion for JazBas, he continues to ninja the rightful expansion of Neeb, and Neeb, he's not going to see it this time around as he flies over this thing, and that is a little bit unfortunate for Neeb. He really doesn't want to let that hatchery just go along and mine away and steal his money. It looks like he is going to go and drop into the pocket expansion here. Not a bad idea. He's actually got another medevac down to the south. These ultras didn't even have chitinous plating this entire time, which is even more shocking because I thought they held their own quite well, but with another +2 armor on the way, oh my god, they're going to become a real problem here for Neeb. And a lot of times when Terran players deal with this late game Zerg style, you know, you will see them go into Sky Terran. It would not surprise me to see some starports and, you know, some cattle bruisers coming out. That would be really awesome to watch. But whoa, whiffed the fungal right there, and a nice little dodge by Neeb, I guess. This medevac, or at least her forces, are going to go down. So both harass attempts really fall on deaf ears. They don't get much damage done, but the game is still incredibly close. Look at the units lost, 30,000 a piece, and both armies are approaching max once again. This is incredible, and we might even have Brood Lords coming pretty soon here as Greater Spire is up and there are Corruptors on the way. So yeah, Brood Lords, you know, brace yourself. And the thing here is Neeb is very heavy Marauder, and when you're heavy Marauder, you don't have that much anti-air. Those Brood Lords can really chew up these you know, specialty ground forces. And we'll see what happens. It looks like JazBas is preparing for a pincer attack. He's sending his Ultras and Zerglings to the right. He's keeping more Ultras and Infestors to the left. And he's going to try to engage the Marauders and the Marines in the middle, coming in on both sides. And I don't think Neeb can hold this off. He was caught out of position, unaware, as Neeb was trying to take out the hatchery. And all of his old Marauders are just going to, oh my god, body parts of the Marauders just flying everywhere. And yeah, that entire army just got, you know, just completely decapitated. And actually, we do have a drop from Neeb. At the same time, brilliant drop, did not see that, but he kills off a hatchery in the bottom left-hand side, so all is not lost here for the Terran player. He is actually going to be able to kill off maybe this hatchery as well. If he can get a stim real quick here, he might be able to get 2 hatcheries for the price of 1, and this is going to be close. Where are the reinforcements for JazBas? He's going to try to fly back in to save this hatchery. Oh my god. I don't think he's going to be able to save it. The hatchery will go down. Incredible by Neeb. Really catching the Zerg off guard, and now these SCVs are going to try to run away and running into this expansion, but oh my god, Neeb is not paying attention. He's got to save these SCVs. Oh, this is going to be terrible for him, and just at the last second pulls him out of harm's way. Wow, literally, if he had waited 1 second longer, he could have lost all of his income, but he saves it at the very last second. And now Planetary Fortress is online, so that is certainly going to help when those Ultras come barreling in. But here comes the Brood Lords. JazBas has made the tech switch, and I don't think Neeb has any Vikings at all, which is obviously not good. No Vikings means no anti-air. He's going to only have Marines, and that is not going to be a sufficient amount of anti-air to deal with these Brood Lords. And here they come. Neeb now realizing, oh god, I'm going to need Vikings. He's going to need them quick. The Broodlings are starting to rain down. He doesn't have missile turrets either. All he's got is a handful of Marines and Widow Mines to deal with this, and that is not going to be enough. In fact, Widow Mines are counterintuitive when dealing with Brood Lords because they will actually sometimes proc on your own army. You can see that that Sentinel missile was really effective, but this expansion is going to be forced to be abandoned. In the meantime, some Zerglings just rampaging through another expansion. The Zerglings doing a ton of damage. Planetary Fortress has fallen, and oh my god, the Workers kill tab has gone through the roof. It's gone through the stratosphere. And now I think the game is going to come down to this final last battle. Vikings are being produced right now. Both armies are, you know, both players are very low in income. They have pretty small armies. I would say JazBas has a sizable one, but, you know, not maxed out by any means. And it looks like JazBas is going to just try to push through, and I like what Neeb is doing right here. He's trying to buy time. He's going to the left. He's trying to buy time for his Vikings to come out, not necessarily committing to any attack, but just running away from this army, trying to pull it away from his main base. Maybe on the way out, he can kill off some hatcheries as well. Look, he's not even using stim. He's literally walking his army, and now he's going to engage. What a play! Waiting to get on the high ground, and he's going to go for these Ultras, but the fungal just trapping the Marines and Marauders, and the Ultras cleaving through everything on the ground. Finally, all the Ultras do go down. It looks like somehow, some way, Neeb was able to pull that one out of the hat. 2 Marines and a Marauder left behind. They're not going to really be able to do much more damage because they are pretty low on HP, although it looks like there isn't really any ground defenses here, so some more drones could go down. In the meantime, a pack of Marines have been dropped off to the north. Fresh Marines, and they are ready for duty. It looks like Neeb is going to try to take out this expansion. JazBas, in the meantime, finally cleans out those harassing forces that were down to the south that were very low on HP, and now he's got to worry about his expansion up here. The Ninja Expo, will he be able to save it? I don't know if he has the forces to do so. He's got some Zerglings. Are they crack upgraded? They are not. So it, you know, obviously that it's not a huge, it doesn't make all the difference in the world, but it does help a little bit. And looks like he's just going to go into this expansion instead and try to take off some more forces, some more SCVs, I should say. And he is going to be able to get some more SCV kills. Really nice job. And this game is going to go down to the wire, ladies and gentlemen. 63 supply to 126. Both players are basically out of money. I will say JazBas has a little bit more minerals saved up We can see a medevac trying to drop to the north, but there are corruptors there ready to counter it. I think JazBas might have the edge here because he's got more money banked, he's got more supply, and he's got an expansion that is mining down here to the bottom left-hand corner. And Neeb continues to lose SCVs due to these Zerglings that are just harassing the hell out of him. He can't land this orbital command down because there's a burrowed Zergling under the ground. Oh my god. And I think that Neeb might just be losing here because JazBas has that extra expo, but he's gonna lose Brood Lords. Oh, great snipes by Neeb, and every snipe of a Brood Lord really counts. Now he can focus these Corruptors down as well, but he misses a volley right there, which is obviously not good. A little bit of a dogfight between the Corruptors and the Vikings. Oh no, but the Infestors come in, and JazBas is gonna finish off these Vikings here with some, oh, but a Widowmine from the back snipes out an Infestor. It's gonna be real close. Those Infested Terrans also helping quite a bit in the anti-air department, and surprisingly, Neeb didn't bring his forces in earlier. He could have really saved his Vikings, which I think would have been critical. Now he's only mining off of this expansion. This is his last breath of air, and he's got to keep this expansion alive. In the meantime, JazBas also basically mining out of only one expo as well, but he's got the supply edge. His army is looking really ragtag here. He's got a couple of Brood Lords, an Ultra or two, and a few Infestors and Zerglings. Not a sizable army by any means, but he still has a massive supply edge. Note that the reason for that, though, is because he's got so many drones. If you look at it from an army perspective, I would say both armies are very, very even in size, very close. You can see that once again, Neeb is going to attack down in the bottom corner. At the same time, Zergling's running into the main base. Zergling's also running up here as well. I don't know what happened to the Planetary Fortress. I guess it went down. But Zerglings are in the main base, and they're going to be able to cut off the reinforcements. The heart of the Terran player is his barracks and factories, and if all these go down, that's really gonna hurt Neeb. He's got to bring his forces back home to save it. In the meantime, it looks like these forces were able to get some more damage done, but eventually do go down to the Zerg army. And what a game, man. This is so sick. What an epic ZvT this has been. And I really don't know who is going to win this game. I would have to give the edge to JazBas because he does have more expansions. He's got a much larger supply. Yeah, I've got to give the edge to JazBas here. He definitely's got it. But Neeb, the thing about Terrans is their Marines are so resilient, especially if you've got a couple of medevacs healing them. They can last a very long time, not to mention Widowmines are quite good as well. A couple of Zerglings running into this expansion, gonna be able to take out a few SCVs maybe, but no, the Terran army is there. Zergling just burrows underground. And this new fresh expansion, the Ninja once again from JazBas, mining money, making money. There is another medevac coming from the south side. 8 more Marines looking to drop into this pocket expansion, but spine crawlers are coming up galore. Very intelligent from JazBas, knowing that this is his last expansion that's actually mining as well. He's got to protect it, and he does. In the meantime, Corruptor's coming in and pushing this command center away. It looks like Neeb is just going to run for it, but he's got, I don't know if that's the right idea. He's got to keep this expansion up and running. If he abandons ship here, if he just gives up this expo, then how in the world is he going to be able to keep his money going? And oh, he's forced to GG. It looks like his medevac went down over here as well, and JazBas wins the game. Wow, what a sick one. That was really, really good. 45 minutes long, and eventually JazBas does get the victory. Wow, what a game. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is, of course, HD Starcraft, and feel free to subscribe at youtube.com/HDStarcraft. I will see you guys in the next video, and for now, this is HD signing out.